I'm Father Dehne, a Jesuit of the Missouri province, and I have been a Jesuit since 1958. I grew up in North St. Louis in a lower middle class family. I was an only child. My parents were in their late 20s when I was born. My mother was a very staunch Catholic. My father he was not a strong Protestant, but he was strongly anti-Catholic. There was always about it this kind of censure in the air from my father and also my father's mother, my grandmother, who lived with us. I went to St. Louis University High School, which is a Jesuit school here in St. Louis. It's one of the better high schools. I think it's maybe one of the top two for Catholics. I had not been in contact with religious people before then. I mean, in the technical sense of a religious man who was taking vows. And so those are the first ones I met. And it was a hard time in my life because though now I'm very tall, at that time I was the second shortest kid in the class, and I was fat. And when you're a freshman in high school, that's a difficult situation to be in, especially since earlier I had been very tall, as I later became again. So the scholastics were very nice to me. They did not show me any special attention, but they just treated me like a human being. And for me at that time, human being who was 14 years old, I found that I was really healed by that, and to tell the truth, I still am when I think of it. It was very special. You know how young men often react strongly against their fathers. Well, the way I did it was by joining the Jesuits. It was a violent act of rebellion, cloaked, however, in the very peaceful pattern of entering a religious community. I tried very hard to write a dissertation, but I didn't finish it. But I kind of sneaked on the faculty at Loyola University in Chicago, and I taught there for 19 years. And then toward the end of that time, I was caring for my parents who were going downhill. My mother was sliding into dementia. My father was very frail. And I got interested in that whole elder care network. So I asked if I could prepare myself for work with the elderly as I was winding down my academic career, which I did. And I took off a year, or rather a semester. I took programs at the medical school here at St. Louis University in geriatrics. And then after that, as soon as a job opened up, which was here in St. Louis, I became the chaplain of a nursing home where I stayed for 6 years. I think, and I know people who are, I think they're holier than I am, and I think they're better Christians than I am, and I think they're more effective than I am and all that, and they're lay people. They're lay people and married with families and so on. I think that's a matter of personal vocation. I mean, I felt very absolutely from the time I was in college, because I can remember that I wanted to lead a dedicated life, a consecrated life, dedicated in what? Well, to other people. The only reason that I have for being a Jesuit is that I think that God, in a very complex way, was calling me to be a Jesuit. I'm Father Dehne, and this is my calling.